right off the bat, we're going to talk about this border bill that we saw. It's first of all, it's called the Senate $118 billion Emergency National Security Bill. And just really fast, guys, when you hear that, automatically I'm like, okay, we're securing our national, our nation is going to be secure. This border situation is getting out of control. The left can't even deny it anymore. But inside the bill, it's just, if you guys didn't dig into it, $60 billion is the first thing.
With a B.
With a B. Think about it. Every time you're out there struggling and you're like, oh my God, taxes and I can't afford this. All that money, all that stress and struggle that it brings into you and your family, your mental health, your well-being, that's what they want to send to Ukraine, okay?
Now, Vinny, where's Ukraine again? Is that by the southern border?
No, actually, it's across the water somewhere, and there's a guy that wears green military things that comes here and begs for money, and if you don't, he says, give, I'll pay back.
I want the more money.
So let's get it.
The border bill, it's called border bill, but it's halfway across the border.
It's their border.
It's for their
got it.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Zelensky now has a huge yacht.
Weird that you paid for.
Yeah.
You paid for.
So that's my yacht. And I heard a little rumor that his bill at Cartier, which is a giant diamond and jeweler, his bill there, someone was like, wow, his bill is insane at one of the most luxury jewelers in the world.
Oh, isn't that weird?
And you're paying for that.
And you're paying for that.
Everybody gets a Cartier love bracelet.
Literally a week after it was announced that Ukrainian corrupt officials stole $40 million meant to buy arms for the army.
Hey guys, are you still wearing your pins? Are you still wearing your Ukraine pin like the brainwashed moron that you are? Anyway, $20 billion went for our border. I mean, we got to get something, you know what I mean? $14 billion for the security assistance to Israel. And just to make it, you got to be fair, $10 billion went to humanitarian assistance for the civilians caught in the conflict of Gaza. But listen, the bill also says it will require Homeland Security to nearly shut down the border. Not definitely, nearly. And this happens if illegal migrants crosses increase more than 5,000 a day in any given week, or the average daily encounters reach 4,000 people in a day in the span of 1 week. Now, check this out. So that's 1.8 million illegals, not people that are coming in the right way, would be coming every year, opposed to like the four some million, whatever that number is. But guys, Joe Biden and his administration, and I had to stop saying Joe Biden. His administration, the real people, when he says they have created this catastrophe, okay? And just FYI, because I keep hearing these libtards going, what? They have to give them the power. You have to, under existing law, the Immigration Nationality Act of 1952, the President of the United States can turn every single illegal alien away from the border if he thinks it's necessary to safeguard our national security. I don't know if you guys have been following the news. Our national security, it's been compromised. Besides the terrorists in New York, and it's gone. So by the way, all he has to do is enforce the law, okay? But Biden did this. Let's not be like tiptoe around this shit, okay? Democrats would lose generations of votes if they close the border, and they wouldn't be able to launder all their money to that place that you were talking about, Ukraine. Because let's not be stupid about this, guys. Think about this: the border is completely wide open, and shit is hitting the fan. The Democrats are like, hey, listen up, guys. We will stop this, but $60 billion has to go to Ukraine, or else, and then they're trying to blame Trump. I think, Kelly, you have a video. Guys, you cannot make this up, because he's reading off a teleprompter everything that's happening in the border. Trump hasn't been in office for how long, Rob? 3.5 years? This is Donald Trump's fault, because just hear this out. I can't even speak English right now.
Gaslighting.
Yeah, go ahead.
To my desk immediately. But if the bill fails, I want to be absolutely clear about something. The American people are going to know why it failed. I'll be taking this issue to the country.
Watch.
And the voters are going to know that it's not just a moment. Just at the moment, we're going to secure the border and fund these other programs. Trump and the MAGA Republicans said no.
Trump.
Because they're afraid of Donald Trump.
Look.
Afraid of Donald Trump.
He scoffed.
Trump's afraid of Trump.
Every day between now and November, the American people are going to know that the only reason the border is not secure is Donald Trump and his MAGA Republican friends.
Pause.
It's time for Republicans in the Congress.
You cannot. By the way, and this is what bothers me, and I'm going to give you the floor. Nobody in that room is going, excuse me, you are full of shit. I get it. It's a Democratic-owned house.
Yeah, they're allowed in there, those reporters?
No, of course not. They're not reporters, bro. What were you going to say, Aaron?
this is gaslighting. And the American people are no longer believing any of this, right? So if you go to New York City and Chicago, those cities that have been completely overrun with illegals, and they see their kids can't go to school because migrants have to sleep in their gym. They see in certain places in Brooklyn where migrants are purposely walking in front of their cars and saying, hey, you hit me. I need money to pay them off. Prostitution next to the playgrounds. People knocking on their door asking for food in the middle of the night. Most of these people are Democrats, and they're realizing, wait a minute, it's a very simple solution. It's a very simple thought process. You say, Joe Biden's in office right now. This is happening right now. How can you possibly say, when you look at the statistics, the data, and the numbers, that this is Donald Trump's fault? Moreover, Donald Trump's line was, build the wall. Yeah. I mean, I don't think any person that's struggling with what's happening in these major cities right now believes a word that this man is saying. And I think that the people who are propping him up and putting their finger in to do the sock puppet are saying, just keep saying this, because if you say it enough times, these useful idiots will believe it.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys saw this or not, Mayorkas, the bureaucrat rat, he's the Department of Homeland Security's version of Fauci, 100%.
Yes.
By the way, they failed to impeach him. Think about this. He is literally the worst Homeland Security. It's all on purpose. It's all to flood the country with all these illegals. Four Republicans yesterday said no. They're like, no, they did a no vote. And I want to say their names so you guys know who these scumbags are. Representative Tom McClintock of California, obviously. Ken Buck from Colorado. Mike Gallagher from Wisconsin. And Blake Moore from Utah. And just FYI, because we're going to start moving on because we have a bunch of stories in limited time. Here's a fun fact. You guys know in Eagle Pass, Texas, where all the migrants are coming over, and it was, a couple thousand a day, where the government sued to get rid of the barbed wire? Since they put up the razor wire, guess how many are coming through in a day?
Like 2.
2 or 3. Guys,
I was close.
It works. So
literally.
Guys, it works. It works. So guess what? $118 billion. Just spend a couple, maybe 100 million or whatever. Just razor wire the shit out of our border. Because, guys, enough is enough. The only thing that bothers me is the damage has already been done. Guess what? All this, all humanitarian, Karine Jean-Pierre, it's all bullshit. It's all gaslighting. It's Trump. It's Trump. And the only thing that bothers me is Biden's approval rating is still at 40. That means 40% of voters are still like, hey, it ain't Trump. But it's not hitting them at home. Like in California, they're seeing it. In New York, they're seeing it. Chicago, they see it. But until these
I think it's the coastal liberal elites, the people that are wealthy, college educated, mostly white women that live in their ivory towers, don't see it because they have their driver and they have their house in the Hamptons, and they don't have to live like an average working American. Because when you meet the average working people like ourselves that fight our wars and pay our taxes, they're mostly conservative.
And they're pissed.
They're pissed. And if you meet like a cab driver or an Uber driver, 9 out of 10 times, they're super conservative because they came to this country legally. They're working hard to feed their family and send money back to where they came from. They're not liberal. They see how hard it is. It's the ivory tower liberals that are still supporting Joe Biden.
I absolutely hate. Go ahead, Brandon.
No, that's why they're trying to decimate the middle class and create the bigger lower class, because they're trying to create this collectivist mindset where people are desperate to the point where they need the collectivist mindset from the politicians. So, they don't have a big enough population from the rich people in the middle class. They need to build the bigger lower class to create a bigger base for themselves. And the scariest part about all this is that so there's 3 sections of voting laws for states. There's states that don't require voting ID, states that require no photo ID, and then states that require the photo ID. So there's 280 electoral votes for the states that require no voting ID at all.
No voter ID.
New York,
and you know what pisses me off? The left, they know these facts, Brendan, and they don't give a shit. You know what they're saying?
They're doing it.
Just as long as Trump doesn't win, bring them in, let them vote.
Well,
dude, this is
12 million new people to vote.
12 million.
And can I just say real quick?
And then Rob,
go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say the president of El Salvador, Nayib Bukele, just got elected in a landslide victory. He's eliminated MS-13. He's dropped the murder rate down by 70% by jailing 1% of the country.
Nice.
And guess what? The Senate Democrats want to remove him from power because they say he interfered in his election.
Oh my God.
He's one of the most popular landslide and has created the most safe country in South.
The global elites don't
Americas,
want it.
in the Americas.
I believe they
But-
called him the world's coolest dictator.
Yeah, he called
Yeah,
himself that.
good.
actually,
Is that what he
Good.
called
As a
himself?
joke. What were you gonna say?
Well, the question about the voting, I know that we talk about that they'll come in and they'll be able to illegally vote, but isn't that only in local municipal and only in like 12 cities in the United States where illegal immigrants can vote illegally?
No, like 13 to 18 states in the country require no form of ID at all to vote.
So you can just,
13
so you can
states.
just walk in,
Yeah,
come here
nothing.
illegally, cross the border, walk
Rob.
in without any ID, go in and go, I want to vote.
Yeah.
the
I
reason-
can't buy
Vote twice.
liquor at the
No.
store without an ID.
But as soon as these people come into our country and if they start asking for social services, they get registered to vote. So it's almost like
Weird.
our liberal government is backdooring their way into citizenship.
Almost.
And guys, that's why I always tell people, because guess what? You're seeing what's happening in New York. Go ahead.
So what's the benefit? I just don't understand. Politically, it sucks because they're going to come. They could usher
Well, they
people
want
in
to
and
keep power
change
around.
it.
The Democrats just want
But
power.
then they also security, right? So they're
Yeah.
ushering in people who are look at what happened in New York with the cops getting assaulted. So
Yeah, but they don't get voted out even if their
Yeah.
policies are unpopular. So
You
it's
ever read the-
limitless power.
Yeah,
Correct.
Bob,
The Prince. Do you ever read The Prince? All means justify the end. So even if they destroy the country, if it means they get to stay in power, it's worth it to them.
and that is a fact.